list.
Well, our reporter David Rhodes is here now. David, are there concerns that the virus could be spreading in parts of Yorkshire outside of cities faster?
Yes, the locality rise by over 50% in a week, and that is concerning public health officials in the city.
And the government could announce more COVID measures for parts of the north this afternoon. Is Sheffield likely to be one of those?
It could well be, but we simply just don't know. We've seen this with Leeds. Leeds was expected to get extra measures in the last couple of weeks, but it was only until last Friday that happened. There is some concern about Sheffield, especially now students have arrived back in the city, but it's hard to know what will happen. We'll find out more details later this afternoon.
David Rhodes, thank you for keeping us up to date. In other news, a millionaire fitness firm founder has died during a record attempt at Elvington Airfield near York. Zeph Isaac. The National League season gets underway tomorrow after an emergency government grant enabled clubs to start the season without supporters in the stands. But some teams are still trying to find creative ways to help fans enjoy a slightly different matchday experience, as Rob Staten explains.
You can watch.
Oh, books and baking is definitely the way to do it, isn't it? Now, Katerina, are we going to have baking weather this afternoon?
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a cosy one this afternoon and over the weekend, because it is going to turn tomorrow and staying unsettled on Sunday.
Thanks, Katerina. There was barely any green on that. It was all blue. That's it for now. I'll be back at 6:30. Hope you can join me then. Hello and thanks for joining us this Friday evening. First tonight, the Prime Minister has confirmed a big investment in Leeds hospitals. Boris Johnson was speaking to our reporter Phil Bodmer at Downing Street about coronavirus and the government's record on dealing with it, but also about investment in hospital building. But when asked how much of the money was coming to Leeds, he struggled to answer.
It's a massive investment in Leeds. People want to do the right thing.
Well, Phil joins me now. So did you hear from Downing Street in the end how much money is actually coming to Leeds?
Yes, I did, Luxmy. They came back to me this afternoon. They're saying it's £550 million specifically for Leeds. I should say this is not new money. This is something that was announced previously, but today is simply a confirmation of that building programme. The government says this is the biggest hospital building programme in a generation, and it's due to happen over the next 10 years, so we'll keep a close eye and watch this space to see if and when it happens.
And the topic of hospital funding was one that Downing Street wanted to talk about.
Yes, I think it's fair to say that regional newsrooms don't often get the chance to speak to the Prime Minister one-to-one in Downing Street, so we were allowed in today. But they clearly wanted to promote this story, so they asked us if we could ask the Prime Minister about it. So that's what we did, and that was a line they went on. But obviously the Prime Minister got a lot of things to think about, but he didn't know the number. But to be fair to them, they've got back to us, and that 550 million, I dare say, will be very welcome.
Absolutely. Good news for Leeds there. Well, thank you, Phil, for that. Now, coronavirus cases in our region continue to increase, and one area that's had a rising infection level is the Craven district of North Yorkshire, which includes Skipton, Settle and the western part of the Dales. It's seen cases quadruple over the past month, with some calls for tougher measures to be introduced. Spencer Stokes has this report. Meanwhile, Sheffield has escaped local lockdown restrictions despite the rising number of coronavirus cases in the city. But there's concern that with an influx of tens of thousands of students in the city, the infection rate could be heading in the wrong direction. Corinne Weekly has this. Jailed for 2 weeks. 21 men have been arrested after allegations of child sexual abuse against a girl in Bradford dating back to 2001. The men aged as well. Now, on to sport, and Tanya's here with all the weekend's events.
It's been a big evening for Sheffield United because they have landed their #1 transfer target, yes.
Halifax.
Oh, best of luck to her and everybody who's doing that, because there's lots of people. And before I go, a quick goodbye to the voice in our ear, because Director Michael is doing his final programme, and he's annoyed us intensely, don't know, but he's been an absolute star.
Goodbye,
soothing, Michael.
Yeah,
yes,
a very soothing
promise you.
voice in our ear. Tanya, thank you. Now, did you know Wentworth Wood House near Rotherham is the biggest privately owned house in Europe? It stands to reason then that it needs big ideas when it comes to decoration. And today it unveiled a monumental artwork on its front lawn. It's so big it needed 10,000 people to help make it, many of them from the surrounding area. Our Kathy Killick has been to see it. That is so beautiful. You know, I love the words of the girl who said lockdown should be colourful and not sad. Absolutely right. And I tell you what, I hope they used waterproof paints because, Paul, it's going to be a bit of a washout.
Cool, and that is the forecast.
Well, if that's what happens when you come in on a Friday, Paul, don't come back
I'll go back to the golf course, it's fine.
Absolutely. That's it for now, but Amanda will be back for your late news. But from me, goodbye and have a very lovely evening, whatever you're up to.